my name is Tennille, and today I'm going to show you how to make this inexpensive fall jar candle. I found this candle on our do-it-yourself website when I was looking for fall themed decor. I really like this project because it's simple, it's fairly inexpensive, and most of the things that I needed for this project I had lying around my house. Let's start off by talking about the supplies that you'll need for this project. First, you're going to need dried leaves, and I'll explain that process a little bit later. Next, you're going to need Mod Podge. I bought the store-bought version, but there's also recipes online to make your own, or you can use Elmer's glue, watered down slightly. In my experience, the Mod Podge seemed to work the best. It just has enough consistency. You're also going to need a brush. This one is a 1-inch paintbrush with a sort of a flatter end, and I found that that worked best. And then a jar. I really like the way these turned out with mason jar, but you can also use an old candle jar or anything that you have available. For accents at the end, I found some twine with berries, and you can be really creative here. You can add your own twine, ribbon, beads, whatever gives you the look that you're looking for in the end. You're definitely going to need a candle because this project is a luminary, something to light your candle with, and some scissors to trim off any undesired leaves. So let's get started. First, you want to make sure you prep your work surface. I just used newspaper all over the entire table to make sure that I don't get any Mod Podge anywhere else. Next, and this is going to require just a little bit of early preparation, is your dried leaves. I found a really great demonstration on a website called familytime.com, and in her blog she describes the best way to dry these leaves is to pick fresh leaves, not off the trees but from the ground. I happen to find these in my own backyard. You want to get various shapes and sizes and colors. And immediately after you pick them, you're going to want to place them inside newspaper. Put the newspaper somewhere where it won't be disturbed, and you're going to want to stack something heavy on top of it. And I just used extra newspaper. You're going to want to let that dry for about 1 to 2 weeks. In my project I used 2 weeks, and it seemed to work out just fine. So let's get started. The first step in this project is preparing your jar. So you want to make sure that your jar is nice and clean and dry. Then you're going to take your Mod Podge or glue, and you're going to smear it all over the jar. You want to get a nice even coat, staying away from the top of the jar and the bottom of the jar. Obviously you don't want the jar to stick to your surface. I'm going to apply a nice thick coat, and then we're going to start applying the leaves. Alright, so now that we have a good thick layer of our Mod Podge, you're going to start picking out your leaves. You want to just put the leaf right where you want it on the jar and press down and hold it for a few seconds. And then you're going to continue to place your leaves all around the jar. It is okay to overlap them. Just keep in mind that with the darker leaves, the candle's not going to shine through as bright. So you kind of want to just use those as accent leaves. And once they've stuck to your jar and you've let them dry for about 15 minutes, you're going to apply a full coat of Mod Podge over all the leaves. So in consideration of time, we're going to skip to the next step, and I have a jar ready. So here's one that has some leaves already stuck to it. So we're just going to apply a thick layer of Mod Podge over the entire surface area, making sure that we pay special attention to the corners of the leaves. And it's going to look like this. And you're going to want to let this dry for several hours. I let it dry overnight and I felt that that was the best. Once it's completely dry the next day, you're going to do one more layer of Mod Podge, and you're going to go into the areas that there are no leaves, and you're going to use this stippling technique, and it's going to make a really pretty ripple effect in your dry jar. It doesn't look very nice right now, but when you see the finished product, you'll understand why you're taking the time to do this. So you're going to do this over the entire jar and let it dry again overnight, or if you're doing it early in the morning, just a few hours. So if you can see that technique, you're going to have the stippling all over. And in the end, you're going to end up with a final product like this. And I really like the effect because it almost looks as if they're wet leaves with rain. And as you can see, I trimmed this off with a little bit of the berry twine, and like I said, you can use ribbon or twine or any other seeds. And then last but not least, you're going to put in a candle. For this jar, I chose to use a regular tea candle. You can also use a jar like this to push inside with a votive candle or another tea candle. And then let's just lay it for the final effect. And here you have your illuminated jar candle. Just to show you what it looks like, the little dim light. And there you have it. And this is something that you can put all over your house, just when you want to cozy up on a nice fall day, when you're having Thanksgiving and you want to have extra table decor, or you